pro-choice is a racist policy.
Yeah, man, feel free to elaborate on how allowing women and girls to access healthcare is racist and how taking away access to healthcare from women and girls is not racist. Go ahead, tell us why you think Donald Trump is a good president.
Yeah, so I think Trump's a better candidate than Kamala. I think he's a better president than she would have been, because I think pro-choice is a racist policy, and I can defend that claim. No. Do you want me to elaborate, or are you just gonna scoff?
Yeah, man, feel free to elaborate on how allowing women and girls to access healthcare is racist and how taking away access to healthcare from women and girls is not racist.
I don't blame the women. It's the people that are in charge pushing this policy. I think so. My claim is that people are using AB as a racist policy so that they can keep the minority population below a certain percentage that's easier to control. If you look at the disparity in American percentage, the population is made up of 67% white and only 14% black. Now, you could say that this might have nothing to do with AB, but let's look a little bit deeper into it. If you look at the Center for Disease Control.gov website, it'll show you that 85 to 87% of ABs are by unmarried mothers, which is mostly single mothers. And then it will also go on to clarify that the vast majority of these women that are getting ABs are non-Hispanic black women. And number two, which is still a pretty large disparity from white women, is Hispanic women. So can you tell me that this disparity in population of 67% white and 14% black has nothing to do with this pro-choice policy?
Thank you so much for your argument. Yeah, super serious argument that everyone should really take super seriously. Dear God. So I'm actually going to go and correct the misinformation, if you'd allow me to speak this.
Have you never heard the argument that putting liquor stores inside of underfunded black communities was a racist strategic policy to keep black people doing degenerate behavior?
So before you continue,
have you ever heard that argument?
Before you continue to speak, I'd actually like to respond to your argument without interruption. But I think before I respond to your argument, let's hone in on the fact that you just said to keep black Americans engaging in degenerate behavior. That's something that racist people say. So I find it very telling that you're going to come up here, say something that racist people say, and maybe informing us about the facts of your character, well then saying that allowing women access to abortion or healthcare is racist. And I actually think that calling abortion access racist is a tool for racism, and I will explain that one to you. But before I do, I need to respond to the misinformation that you perpetuated in your position. You said that a vast majority of abortions are received by black women, yes?
Non-Hispanic black women, yes.
Could we agree that a majority would be 50%?
No, because there's more than two groups in this. So because there's so many ethnic groups, black women, I think it's 30%?
No.
And then the next closest.
A majority of anything.
So
would be 50%.
Go ahead and make your fallacious argument. I'll dispute it.
Can you define majority?
A majority is the highest percentage of any group. So if it has 5 different subgroups inside, the majority can be 30%.
Wrong.
Yes.
So
if every other group is below 30%.
Wrong. So a majority would be most of.
Okay, sure.
Okay, so you just conceded that a majority is most of. So in order for black women to be getting a majority of abortions, they'd be having to get most of abortions, and most of abortions would be 50% or higher. And that's false. So black women receive 37%.
He's lying. He's lying.
My source is the Guttmacher Institute.
Yeah, that's not as reputable as the CDC.gov.
I would actually.
You can look. It says word for word.
I wouldn't doubt it if the Guttmacher Institute actually was the one that provided data to CDC. And I'm seeing the same thing.
This is what they do when they can't refute your claim, guys.
No, you just interrupted me. I'm not pivoting. I'm just trying to make an argument, and you're interrupting me. Because
silencing the competition is fascism.
Okay, well, I guess you just called Donald Trump fascist when he said it was illegal to speak negatively on him.
I'm a real libertarian. You're not. You support a racist policy, and your only excuse is ignorance.
Well, you actually haven't even heard my counter argument yet, since you have consistently interrupted me.
I see a lot of people agreeing with me.
Well, agreeing with what? I mean, an argument that I haven't been able to respond to because you interrupt me?
You had plenty of time to respond. I didn't interrupt. I was very quiet and patient.
Okay.
You never refuted my argument. The only thing you said was that I'm racist for pointing this disparity out.
Wow.
So does that mean that white people shouldn't speak up on injustices they perceive?
According to the CDC in 2019, black women accounted for 38.4% of abortions in America out of a total of 629,898 abortions. So not only have I now given you
more than any other group in America.
That's an interruption.
More than any other group in America.
This is an interruption. You have to be able to let me finish
So how is it not the majority?
Because a majority would be most of, accounting to 50% or more.
He's lying.
You can't say that I'm lying about what majority means, given that you already agreed.
He's lying. Look it up for yourselves. This guy's and you'll see.
I'm gonna continue to mute you unless you let me speak. Do you have a problem? Why can't you allow me to finish?
Go ahead.
Thank you so much. I genuinely really appreciate it. So a couple points, and then I'm going to get to the meat on the bone with the position. But if you continue to interrupt me every time I open my mouth, I will never be able to get to the meat on the bone in your position, calling access to abortion racist, okay? And the reason we haven't been able to get to said meat on the bone is because every time I open my mouth to dispute the minuscule bits of misinformation that you perpetuated within your original position, you've interrupted me and just basically accused me of lying. So first, we're going to go through your 2 accusations of lying. Then we're going to clear up the misinformation originally perpetuated in your position. And then third and finally, we'll get to the meat on the bone, me arguing against the notion that allowing women and girls access to abortion is racist. So let's start off with that.
Hey, do you mind if I read this straight off the page real quick?
No, I want to be able to go through my 3 points. Can you just hold that off until I'm done?
Because you know you're wrong. He knows he's lying. I have the proof pulled up.
I don't even know what you want to read off the page. So I don't know that I'm wrong because I don't know what you're going to say. I just want to be able to finish speaking and get to my 3 points. So I'm going to start off with my first point. You've accused me of lying at 2 times in this conversation. The most recent time you've accused me of lying is when I said that a majority was most of. You can't say that I'm lying when I say that a majority is most of, when literally 5 minutes ago you accepted that we both define majority as most of. So that would be a contradiction on your part, and you're just too silly to even track the dialogue. The second point, insofar as where you said that I was lying, no, because I'm not done. The second point where you said I was lying is when I said that black women didn't get a majority of abortions, but rather only received 38% in this country, right? And I gave you my source of Guttmacher Institute, and then you said, I think that the CDC is more reliable than Guttmacher, and the CDC says otherwise. Well, once again, you're even wrong about that. According to the CDC in 2019, out of the 629,000 abortions that were reported to them, black women accounted for 38.4% of them. So according to the CDC, I'm right and you're wrong. So I'm going to allow you to respond to those 2 points, and then I'll finally get to the meat on the bone. The meat on the bone, that being why I think it is not racist to allow women to access abortion.
Okay, I'm going to read this word for word so there's no confusion. All right? This is not my definition. This is the definition of our government. Okay? Yes, women of color and unmarried women account for a disproportionate number of abortions in the United States, although no single demographic constitutes the majority of abortion patients. I will concede that you were correct on that one point. Everything you just said there was true. Yes, black women disproportionately receive abortions at higher rates than white women. That is true. So how does that not correlate to the difference in population percentage?
I don't even know what that question means. What?
The white population of America, whites make up 67% and blacks make up 14%. How is the disparity in abortion not a correlate to the difference in population percentage? And is it possible that there's people in charge of these abortion policies that were using it to keep the minorities, specifically black people, at a lower percentage of population so they were easier to be controlled? That was my claim of...
I will now explain to you why black women are disproportionately more likely to access and get abortions compared to white women in this country. So
there's more poor white women than poor black women. It's a per capita argument.
I would really appreciate if you'd allow me to finish. If you don't allow me to finish, I'm just going to kick you.
Okay, I'm quiet.
Okay, if you interrupt me again, what am I going to do to you?
I got it, man. I got you.
And tell me, what am I going to do to you?
Come on, don't be patron.
I'm going to kick you.
I got you.
I'm going to kick you.
Yeah, I got you.
So 54% of women that access abortion report the reason as being what?
What, low economic status?
Financial instability. And in
So
this
do you
country,
think
and you interrupted me again. So in this country,
that was an accident?
in this country, it is the case that because of systemic racism, right, Black Americans have a lower socioeconomic standard on average compared to white Americans, meaning that per capita, they're more likely to experience financial instability, right? This has a lot to do with systemic racism, slavery, and its aftermath. This has a lot to do with white Americans having more generational wealth than Black Americans. And this has a lot to do with historic, legal, and social hard lines and stigmatization surrounding Black individuals in the workforce. Now, because Black women are per capita more likely to experience financial instability than white women, and a majority of women who access abortion report their reason to be financial instability, we would expect not a majority, but a disproportionate amount of women who access abortion to be Black for that reason. Now, all that this means is that if it is racist to allow women and girls to access abortion because a disproportionate amount of the women that do are Black, regardless of that reason being they're more likely to experience financial instability, I would dispute that argument on the basis, turning it around on you and rather arguing that it is actually racist to ban abortion, as you are disproportionately negatively impacting and disenfranchising Black women compared to white women. And if you want to fix the fact that a disproportionate amount of women who access abortion are Black compared to white, well, don't cut off their access to enact upon their human right to bodily autonomy, as there's no good reason to infringe on it, but rather attempt to address the systemic issues in which have socioeconomically positioned Black Americans to be worse off on average than white Americans.
Can I respond? Your entire point is just totally fallacious. I'll read this directly from the source. There are more white women living in poverty than Black women in America. For example, higher poverty rate for Black women. So the only difference, you're making a per capita argument, which I've actually heard leftists claim is racist to make arguments by per capita, because there's a lot of dumb Republicans that use the argument, well, per capita, Black men commit more crime than white men. That's a stupid argument, and it's a racist argument. I would also claim that your pro-choice position is still racist, because in overall numbers, you're saying, correct me if I'm wrong, you're saying that the reason that more Black women get more abortions than white women is because their socioeconomic status. That's wrong. There are more white women living in poverty than Black women in America. And because, so your claim doesn't hold up.
And because
your claim doesn't hold up.
Okay. Well, actually it does, right? And I'm going to explain it. I'm going to explain how it does to you right now. In fact, it's funny because you explained to us all how my argument holds up when you were reading
by per capita.
Interruption. Because you were reading off of Google and you accidentally read off that Black women have a higher poverty rate in this country than white women. In fact, I'm now going to go ahead.
Per capita.
That's what a poverty rate is. I'm going to go ahead and just.
Everybody that knows he's a liar, follow me.
I'm actually going to replay the stream when you said
muting tactics.
Because you're interrupting me because you're a man. Because you're a man child. Are you actually? You're a man child. Are you just a fetus trying to protect your own rights?
Their only excuse for their racist policies are ignorance. This person supports a racist policy.
You're going to leave after
this.
And
his only excuse is ignorance.
Okay. Well, actually, no. My only excuse would be something that you said insofar as explaining why it's not racist, that being that Black women experience a higher poverty rate in this country. As soon as you read that one off of Google, you started to freak your shit, and then you went on to say, well, we need to ignore per capita statistics. We need to ignore these per capita rates, such as the fact that because Black women are more likely to experience poverty in America, they're therefore more likely to experience financial instability, which perfectly explains why they'd be disproportionately more likely to access abortion, given the fact that most women who do are doing so because of financial instability. But it's funny because if you want to dispute the credibility of per capita statistics and arguing why one demographic compared to another would be more likely to experience poverty, your whole argument that access to abortion is racist is because of the per capita statistic that Black women are more likely to access it. So in disputing the basis of using per capita statistics to argue a point and calling per capita statistics racist, you are in turn disputing your own point and calling yourself racist, as your argument that abortion is racist hinges on the position that per capita black women are more likely to access it.
Per capita is a red herring fallacy.
Okay.
Can you respond to that?
Then your own argument is a red herring fallacy, because that's what it hinges on.
Your argument was per capita.
Your
not
argument,
mine.
yes, it is.
You're just doing a red herring fallacy.
When I say that per capita black women are more likely to experience poverty, all that I'm saying is that black women are disproportionately more likely to experience it. Your argument was indeed that black women are more likely to access abortion. Therefore, you're saying per capita they're more likely to access it.
Per capita is a red herring fallacy. Look it up for yourselves, everyone. He's a liar.
Define red herring.
His only excuse for supporting racist policy is ignorance, and it's willful ignorance.
Can you define red herring?
Red herring, it means that well, actually, can you? What's a red herring fallacy?
Yeah, for sure.
Go ahead.
For sure.
I'll wait.
Yeah, if you can't define it,
because I'm the one that pointed it out. If you don't think I looked it up first.
If you can't define it, I will define it for you. I just need you to admit humility. Feel free to turn back on your mic and admit defeat.
You just Googled it. That's the only thing. That's the difference. I actually was able to use the term correctly in calling out your fallacious argument. You had to Google it to confirm that I was correct.
Well, I mean, it really just seems like you're now just like displaying your
he's admitting it, guys. You see this?
All that I said is it just seems like you're displaying your suppositions and conspiratorial nonsense to like thousands of people, but I digress. You still haven't defined red herring.
Have you ever heard that that's because I'm the one who used red herring fallacy in the correct way. Can you please
How do you know
define it?
How do you know that you used it?
Still man my position.
How do you know that you
still man my position?
How do you know that you used it in the correct way when you don't even know what it is?
I do. I have it put up right in front of me.
Prove that. Prove that you know what it is by telling us what it is.
Go ahead. I'm waiting for you.
No, I didn't ask that question myself. I'm not talking to myself. I'm talking to you.
So you're okay. You're actually not going. It's a logical fallacy. Basically, you're trying to detract someone from their argument with a bad argument. It's like you're offering. It's a non-specific argument, so you can pivot from my preliminary argument.
Okay, so let me get this straight. You're defining,
and that's in layman's term. Now you read it from Google and tell me I'm wrong.
So I just need to be able to like clarify that what you're saying here is what I think you're saying here.
You're using irrelevant information to distract from my argument.
I'm going to start counting all your interruptions with these Reese's miniature cups. I'm just going to start setting them on my keyboard, one for every interruption.
So read the definition.
Okay, there's another one. Wow. Okay, I'm going to be out of these. So I just want to be clear on like your definition of red herring. You told us that you think a red herring is a bad counter argument.
That's not what I said. You just straw man my definition.
What's a straw man?
Straw man is when you use my point, but you're not repeating it correctly.
Dude, okay. So what I'm going to need you to do is if you want to be able to use these like terms like red herring, straw man, so on and so forth.
So read the definition
fallacy,
and prove me wrong.
I can't even like set these on here. Sir.
Look, guys, I just Googled it. It just popped up.
Hey,
a red herring is either a misleading clue in a story, a logical fallacy that introduces irrelevant information. I said that word for word to distract from the main argument.
Okay.
Damn, is that what I said exactly? Holy fuck, guys.
No, it isn't exactly what you said. I'm going to go to thank a handful of people for
I just used layman's terms. I explained it in a simple way, which means that I actually understand the definition on a personal level.
Well, I think that
you don't.
I think that you described it in a wrong way.
On the debate.
Wait, spell debate.
See, it's typical these leftists, man, they lie. I'm a true libertarian. These people are scumbags that ignorantly support racist policy.
Wait, actually,
and it's willful ignorance at that.
Jeremy, I just realized that my TikTok chat can't hear you. I need you to mute and unmute yourself, and it'll fix the glitch.
Yeah. Go fuck yourself. I'm done here. This guy's dishonest.
Okay, actually, before you
follow me if you agree with what I said.
So before you leave, I'm going to tell you exactly why using per capita statistics in response to your position is not dishonest. Okay, well, he didn't want to hear it. So that's what a big W in a debate looks like. Yeah, cooked you, Jeremy. Thank you so much for coming up here and getting cooked. It was really enjoyable and satisfying to be able to sit down and humble such an egotistical man-child Jeremy. Feel free to come back again sometime. We should do that again. Maybe we could set up another date. I found it to be very enjoyable, and I'd love you to return at some point, Jeremy. But of course, we know he won't because he's too bruised, too hurt. His ego is in hell, quite frankly.